I'm Ellis Martin. Join me now for a conversation with Jordan Trimble, the President and CEO of Rockridge Resources, trading as ROCK on the TSX Venture Exchange. Rockridge Resources is a new public mineral exploration company focused on the acquisition, exploration, and development of mineral resource properties in Canada, specifically copper and battery metal projects. The company's flagship project is the Knife Lake project, located in Saskatchewan, which is ranked as one of the best mining jurisdictions in the world. Jordan, welcome back to the program.
Thanks for having me again.
You have some fascinating results at the flagship Knife Lake project located in Saskatchewan. Why don't you tell us all about it?
Quite a barn burner hole. It's the third hole in a 12-hole drill program. The headline reads 4.31% copper and 5.05% copper equivalent over 13.2 meters. Now that's within a broader 37.6 meter zone of just over 2% copper and 2.42% copper equivalent. It starts at 11.2 meters downhole, so very, very good numbers. One of the best holes drilled on this project at this deposit area. There's a historical resource there. To have those kinds of numbers come out this early in the program is quite exciting. There's now been 5 of the 12 holes reported on. You can see the other results in the news release. We announced 3 new ones, so the third, fourth, and fifth holes and the first 2 holes that were previously reported. So very good. We're looking forward to obviously getting more results in. One of the more notable talking points with this high-grade drill result is that it's an expansion hole. So as I mentioned, the drill program was focused in on a historical deposit called the Knife Lake deposit. We did a couple of confirmation drill holes as well as some expansion drill holes. So this hole being an expansion drill hole, it was drilled up dip of hole number 2. So it's an area that had no previous historical assay results from, given that we've hit what appears to be one of the highest grade zones in the deposit area. In the deposit, we're certain that it'll have a positive impact on the resource. And this program is giving us all the data and information that we need to put out a NI 43-101 compliant resource estimate, which will follow shortly after this drill program, likely sometime in the summer. So it's another big milestone to look forward to for the company.
So this could very well be a significant copper play in Saskatchewan.
Oh, absolutely. It's a VMS polymetallic deposit. It's predominantly copper, as you'll see with the numbers, but there is also some zinc, cobalt, silver, and gold. We think there's a lot more to be found there. And just to go over the history of this project, it's a new property that we've acquired. It's our flagship project. We're earning 100% on it. We did a deal to acquire the project late last year. So this is the first drill program that we've carried out on the project. And in fact, it's actually the first meaningful exploration program carried out on the project in almost 20 years. And the mandate that we have with this company and a general strategy is going into historical mining districts, prolific mining districts like you have in the Flin Flon area in Saskatchewan and Manitoba. Saskatchewan's ranked number 3 in the world in terms of mining districts as ranked by the Fraser Institute. And we're going into these projects that have had historical work, a lot of work done previously, but not a lot of modern exploration. And what that allows us to do is go into these projects where we know there's mineralization, where there's historical deposits, and go in there with some new thinking, some new exploration techniques and methodologies to test new ideas. And we think that that's going to be a recipe for success. We're already having success at Knife Lake, going into a project that, like I said, hasn't had really any work in the last 20 years. And we're testing some new ideas, and obviously we're getting some really, really good results.
Well, this is certainly fantastic news, especially with copper and the potential new infrastructure bill in the United States, where there will be a big requirement for copper and zinc, and most likely silver as well. What have you got going on for the next 6 months or so, Jordan?
So we have a lot over the next 6 months to look forward to. As I mentioned, we've just reported 5 of the 12 holes drilled. We drilled just over 1,000 meters. They're all relatively shallow. There's high grade in all 5 holes thus far. Again, the highlight hole being this third hole. So 7 more holes to report. You'll see news out on that over the coming weeks as well. Following that, we are planning to put out an NI 43-101 resource estimate. Again, like I said, there's a historical resource estimate. It's non-NI 43-101, so we're hoping we can upgrade that historical resource and come out with a positive NI 43-101 compliant resource. That's in the near term as well. And then following that, we have plans for a summer work program, exploration that will consist of some modern geophysical surveys as well as some groundwork. And this is important because going forward on this project, we're going to be looking to make additional discoveries in and around the known Knife Lake deposit. It's a one-off VMS deposit near surface. It's a topographic high. That's how it was discovered back in the late 60s. But not a lot of regional work or drilling has been carried out. So that's what's really exciting for us is VMS deposits typically are not found in isolation. They usually occur in clusters. And what's even more exciting is that we know from the mineralogy, the metal ratios in the deposit, that this is likely not the primary source of mineralization. It's come from a primary source. So looking for that source of mineralization is something that we're going to be looking at going forward. We're going to be testing for that. And the summer program will further refine targets both at depth below the current deposit as well as regionally for us to go drill test later on.
And this is a very sizable land package that you picked up from Eagle Plains Resources.
Correct. It's just over 85,000 hectares, so it really is a regional play. We're just northwest of Flin Flon, and there's power lines just south of the property. Just to kind of cover a few important talking points about the Flin Flon mining camp. It's a well-known camp. There's been production from various VMS deposits well over 100 years now, so a very strong mining history, very, very impressive grades, size of VMS deposits that have been found there. And more recently, you've seen a couple of larger companies coming into the area, starting with Glencore partnering up with a company called Foran south of us at the McIlvenna Bay deposit. They're advancing that through a feasibility study right now. And then more recently, you've had a new discovery announced by Hud Bay, a multi-billion-dollar company that's been in the area really since day one. They've discovered a new high-grade zinc copper zone right beside their producing Lalor mine, so that's exciting. And then last but not least, you have a company called Rockcliffe, not to be confused with Rockridge, that's raised $30 million from a private equity group out of London called Greenstone to go and develop a handful of VMS deposits that they have east of us in Manitoba. They're doing what's called a hub and spoke strategy as they have a lease on a mill called the Bucko Mill. And so similar to what we're looking at Knife Lake, they have these high-grade VMS polymetallic deposits, and now they have the funding to go in and develop it. So you have some big money that's coming into the area. It's reinvigorating the area, and I think the results that we've put out today will catch a lot of people's attention going forward.
Jordan, tell us about the share structure of this relatively new company.
Yeah, so it's got a very good share structure. There's about 25.5 million shares issued and outstanding. The public float, obviously, a lot smaller than that. Management and insiders own a big chunk of stock. There's a couple of smaller funds that have taken positions as well in the company, which is good to see some institutional interest at such an early stage. As you may recall, we did the IPO just over a year ago, so it's a relatively new company. Part of what we're doing is building an audience around this, and again, I think this news and additional news releases will help do that. But very well structured, fully funded, and a lot of near-term catalysts.
Well, Jordan, it's always fantastic speaking with you, especially when you've got this kind of news. Thank you so much for joining me today on the program.
Thanks for having me.
I've been speaking with Jordan Trimble, the president and CEO of Rockridge Resources, trading as ROCK on the TSX Venture Exchange. For more information on Rockridge Resources, go to the company's website, rockridgeresourcesltd.com. I'm Ellis Martin.
Subscribe to the Ellis Martin newsletter. It's free. Go to ellismartinreport.com and fill out the quick and easy pop-up form.